Nino, my father, Aurora, my grandmother, and Matteo, my grandfather, arrived in Australia in the 60s. They left a small town in Yugoslavia called Rovinj, which was under the communist rule of Tito, to try and find a better life. You see, my grandfather, Matteo, or we knew him as Nonno Uccio, was Italian, and just after the Second World War, Tito was making it very hard for Italians to live on their own terms in Yugoslavia. Tito was set on independence, from Russia, from everybody, and his vision of a united Yugoslavia meant that everybody needed to fall in line. That meant farmers, like my grandfather, giving up their farms to work in cooperatives. Nonno Uccio wasn't the type to fall in line, so after many close shaves in his military days, he uprooted his family and crossed the border. The people who stayed in Yugoslavia, the fascists or neutrals or those who were suspected of being either, were buried alive in ravines in Slovenia. They wouldn't be found until 1998, just after Croatia gained its independence. Around 500,000 Italians fled Istria, which is the region that Rovinj is situated in. It's a coastal region. It changed hands many times over the course of the 40s and 50s, from the Austro-Hungarian Empire to Italy, to Yugoslavia, back to Italy, and then back again. It was hard for my family at first. They were treated as refugees when they moved from Rovinj to Italy. They were placed in army barracks, and then 9 months later, they moved to the northern Italian city of Alessandria, where they had their own apartment. Life was better for them, but it still wasn't exactly easy. They didn't have heating, and in northern Italy, the winters are very cold, and they couldn't even open the doors without them freezing over. So, Nonno Uccio brought my dad and my nonna to Australia. The family settled in Richmond once Nonno found a job. One story that my dad said he'd never forget was Nonna, his mum, crying, sitting on a chest of drawers in their house in Elm Grove in Richmond. She was saying, "What are we going to do now?" And that was the reality back then. They didn't know if it was going to work. They just did what they thought they had to do.